Yo, what's up guys? Since Diviner and Me Better were announced in Liov, I tried post Liov Drytron and it's fucking broken. There's no doubt in my mind it's gonna be meta if not the best stack, like seriously. So I'm gonna show you two lists, talk about threats, how to deal with them, show some combos, go into replays, all that jazz. I'm not going into too much detail since I don't want the vid to be like an hour long. So let's just jump into the list and let me explain. We played 3 Diviner. The card is fucking insane. We need to see it every time. Its level modulation effect is the only way to go into Beatrice. We want to hard draw her since Benton usually just tanks a ton of hand traps, and if the effect resolves she can just add Orange Light instead. And Orange Light keeps us warm, tells us a bedtime story and protects us from evil hand traps hiding under our bed. It's also an ever target, so we just need to play multiples anyway. Maybe I should have mentioned that first, but well, here we are. We run 2 Evers because of the increased fairy count. She's just never dead, and resolving 2 happens in most combo lines. Beatrice is literally a bootleg carrier. We can only summon her with Diviner and Fool, and both of the effects have to resolve. Overall, she just does the same things Carrier used to do, but his broken ass got banned, so we need a replacement. Personally, I think there is no reason to play Prep instead of Extra Foolish. Because of Diviner, we already run Antis and Arclight, so you just have to fit in a second Arclight. And honestly, the second Arclight comes up so often. Even if you don't see Extra Foolish all game, just by sending it with Diviner. Also, Extra Foolish sending Arclight has 5 targets, almost double the amount that Prep can add with its 3. Then there's the utility you get with Antis, which is really good this format. Getting Drought on it is fucking agony. If you pass on nothing with 4k, you are definitely getting OTK'd, but it's worth the risk. Maybe a bit more spicy is Black Rose, basically a Zeus that doesn't use the bell phase. Super easy to access with Diviner and any Drytron. Because of that, it can be more devastating than Zeus if your opponent is vulnerable to destruction. We run neither Borrowed Sword or Access Code. For Access Code we just don't run any links of different attributes to make him worth. And without Natasha stealing monsters, pushing for game with it isn't too easy. Borrowed Sword is better in that regard since OTK with it is much more reliable. Any Drytron in attack position works, but it needs too much investment. Instead we run Drytron Meteonis Draconets. Summoning it is very easy thanks to Mubeda, which led me to run him again. It has insane OTKing and even more impressive board breaking capabilities. And even better, it puts a lot of pressure on our opponent when he can't kill, because of its disruption effect. Especially when used together with Mubeda because of the additional negate. There is a very resourceful turn 3 play involving it, where you need to be able to summon back Gamma and the Drytron with its effect. Activate Meteonis in the GY to add it back, and then overlay into the second Mubeda which sends Draconets, which re-ritual some. This leads to an endboard of Zeus and Draconets, which is insanely difficult to overcome in a low resource scenario. This play becomes even better when having Alpha in circulation, leading to a board with a total attack of 8k, or more of a disruption board with the Mubeda negate. Alright, let's talk about what this deck struggles with.
This is great. Just the 3 of us. You, me, and Nibiru the Promo Bean.
Yeah.
Sunsets always remind me of bowls of fruit. What do they make you think of, Squidward?
Fab summons. Uncommon.
Here it is, the sunset! I always love to count it down. 5! You do the rest, buddy!
4, 3, 2, 1. Ouch.
Yep, Nibiru is not shit against us. Every combo now summons more than 5 times, and losing the bodies can cause a bit of damage, so we do have to respect Nibiru. But the Drytrons activate in the grave or hand, Diviner and Mubeda on summon, and Beatrice is a quick effect, so the damage is usually manageable, and sometimes you can search Orange Light to protect yourself. Of course, we still have issues against Droll and DD Crow-like cards. The weakness to Droll hasn't really changed, but the one to DD Crow has become worse. If they hit the 1 copy of Benton we tribute for cast, it's gone forever. Called by and instant fusion for Millennium Ice can help. Millennium Ice is especially cracked since it also gives a body for the new XE. Going second Appaloosa is the most prominent card we struggle to play against. Not a single normal summon we play has 800 or more attack, so we can only run over it if we see Nova. That's because Appaloosa can negate the Drytrons in our hand or GUI, so they don't even get summoned and we can't attempt to summon them again. We can only side against that and main some copies of Droplet or something like that. Note to some of the choke points this deck has, mainly Diviner, Fool and Mubeda. All of these lose to Impalm, so it's not even bad anymore against this deck. If Diviner gets stopped, we don't have access to a level 6, so making Beatrice becomes impossible. Same for Fool, but Fool needs to change its level to add back a card from the GY. So if it gets ogred or something like that, you don't even get back your resource. It's horrible. The rank 1 is a mill, so if it gets Ash, it technically isn't the worst. If the effect gets negated though, we can't use its XC material as tribute fodder. That can definitely sting in some lines, especially if both effects are stopped by Impum, for example. Cold Bind Instant don't seem to be reliable. Man, if there was only a way to make us more resilient against hand traps. This Sans looking ass is cracked. He's a Shockmaster during our turn, so we can stop hand traps by summoning him before going into our main combo. Going second, it forces out interruptions. This engine is especially good against DD Crow and Nibiru. We can summon Battlelord before summon 5 with ease, and force DD Crow out before tributing Benton for the Drytrons. But there are flaws. We get access to Benton by sending Battlelord from the field to the grave. That means we usually search Battlelord instead of Benton by Alpha or Prep. But Battlelord doesn't plus us instantly like Benton does. Like, you literally just plus by activating any Drytron. Because of that, the Drytrons become more vulnerable to early hand traps. I personally still think it's worth running, since the package isn't too large with 3 Battlelords and 1 evolution. But it does force you to cut on hand traps and consistency cards. Then we need to run Curious for certain combos to work, which leads to even less extra deck space and why I had to cut extra Foolish, but that's manageable. Alright, the first replay is honestly the best replay. We are playing through 4 hand traps. Ashing Nova, probably correct, honestly. Now, we still have enough Drytrons in our hand to just continue playing. He Skullmeister's Benton, we already had the Diviner, so it really doesn't matter. Now we summon Battle Lord and force out the Imperm, otherwise he wouldn't be able to use Gamma anymore. And now, normal summon Diviner, he chooses to Gamma this, probably correct, I would assume so. And we just go into Curious. So, this Curious was really, really good. Hitting Ever off of the random hits is so good. And this kind of changed my game plan. Otherwise, I would have just made a format Appaloosa. But now, now I have Orange Light, so there's really no point into going into a format Appaloosa because I can just add Ever with Benton and have 2 mods in the gates with Orange Light. So I went into IP Masquerina. I felt like this was the safer play, and I can always go into Appaloosa anyway. So now he has nothing, he can't do anything. Now he chooses to Ash Nova. We have the Orange Light for that, so we're pretty safe. But even if we didn't mill Ever to get the Orange Light, we would have just had Appaloosa to negate the Ash Blossoms, so like it completely doesn't matter. Now we're just flexing a bit and converting this into a win and killing him. Yeah, there we go. This is no TK. Alright, game 2. We are playing against the same Prank Kids player. So here's Combo and IDP. IDP does like nothing against our deck because the Drytrons cannot be special summoned by a card effect except by a Drytron. Like, that's very important to memorize, so they just can't banish them. And as long as we don't ritual summon Benton, it also cannot be special summoned by IDP to banish it. So we are completely safe, and IDP does nothing. He sets up Bow Wow. Bow Wow is pretty strong because we just can't Black Rose him anymore. And he has a Black Rose, Raigeki setup with his Battle Bubbler. Okay, he negates Prosperity, that's actually bad. We add Meteonis, there's no point adding Nova, we have 3 Drytrons. So, and with the Xe we already have a 4th, and there's no point. So he has to Battle Butler us now, because otherwise we would just go into the Luralask Xe, which cannot be destroyed by card effects if we use the effect, so he's kind of forced to use it now, because otherwise the Luralask would bait out 2 negates. 2 Raigekis, I mean. And now we go into the Battle Lord, just bait out the last one, and we are free to combo. Now we just, I'm pretty sure we just can't kill him, because he has 3 bodies on the field, and we just can't Black Rose him, and we have to Zeus him to get rid of all the bodies. And with access code, the issue is we just don't play enough attributes, so there's no way to kill him. So I just went and set up a board, just run over everything and try to go from there. Okay, yeah, nothing left. Just make Zeus, just to have it. We have 3 negates with Ultimateness. We just can't let him IDP, otherwise he just gets rid of our Ultimateness, so there's that. We have 3 negates with Ultimateness. This is game over. Tactics. We could have negated this continuous spell, no idea what it's called to be honest, but doesn't matter. Now we just kill him. He has nothing left. He could have drawn a hand trap, that could have been kinda bad, but nah, I wouldn't have mattered. We have Ultimateness still. This is game for so many ways. He's kind of flexing, I think. Are we flexing? I don't know. We are a bit. And twist pop, yeah, this is game through so many ways. I'm flexing a bit too much to be honest, but alright. Alright, next game. We are playing against Dragonlings. Our hand is pretty ass. Adding Prosperity, it was really important to resolve it, but we didn't. Now we only have access to a singular Drytron. We had 2 copies of Emergency, that's so scuffed. And Fool, which is a brick. We had 2 dead cards in our hand. This is really bad. He has Phantasmate, but we won't rush it. We honestly won't even go into Link plays, there's no point. So the Phantasmate is somewhat dead. And now we're just building up a board. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, okay, I went into IP. Yeah, he just phantasmates at this point. So we are kind of forced to negate it, otherwise he just gets a free body. It's kind of ridiculous, and our IP would have been dead. But he just has fucking... he has Dark Ruler, and then we outlight him. And he has Brutal. This is so bad. It was so bad. That's actually terrible. He can't kill us, so we are pretty safe, and we have a Battle Lord setup. And as long as we have Battle Lord, we are really, really good. Because it baits out at least one interruption. And we have kind of a stacked graveyard. We have Gamma and Zeta, which is okay. Maybe it's not stacked, but like there's at least something there. And even like he just does things now, like just wrangling stuff. Must be nice getting Phantasme. Oh my god. Drawing edge. Oh, this is bad. So... oh, we top deck Fafnir. This is crazy. So he's kind of forced to negate Zeta, because otherwise we would get the Vendred. Which is bad, and he can't negate that, so we would have access to Battle Lord. So he has to negate. And he just keeps the Savage, which is probably the correct play. There's really nothing he fears, so he just does this, baits out both Zeus, and now I'm like, I have no resources left, right? So I feel like I know his graveyard. He has Seaford in his graveyard and the Magic Man, so I just get Lancia to just stop anything he can do. Right, and I also knew he didn't go into Viper Buster and Collapse Serpent, so if he top decked one of those, I would have been in a really bad shape. So just Lancia him in the standby phase, he can't do anything. No, I just bait out the negate, because I still have Evolution in my deck. And yeah, Battle Lord is just so good, it's so good. And now this should be a clean W. 11 cards in the deck, by the way. This is so bad. 10 now. And yeah, this is like game. Alright, game 2. So he has Dark Ruler again. He goes first. His hand is it's not perfect, but he drew too many normal summons. But it's good enough. Having Seaford is just like by itself really, really good. And like having Black Metal and so many normal summons is not optimal, but you can see he's like completely fine. There's a bit of scuffed plays, I think, like definitely not optimal. Yeah, he just goes into another Striker Dragon, like I don't know, that's probably not optimal, but it doesn't really matter. He's super fine. Yeah. Yeah, now he just makes yeah. Yeah, no, he goes into the Magic Man. Oof, hitting Phantasme must be nice. Okay, he just adds the Phantasme, gets it even now. Oh, he snipes even one card out of our hand. And he has Ash, Phantasme, a bounce, another bounce with spheres, and a negate. So this is really difficult to play through. Okay, this is a weird bounce, but like actually it hurts really much. Because now I just don't have access to Orange Light. I felt like I was forced to bait out the Phantasme. It's like one card less in his hand. And like he just doesn't let Benton, like he doesn't let me resolve Benton to get Orange Light. Like Dieva is completely dead because of that, and it's so bad. There's like nothing I can do. Now I finally get the Benton, but I don't think I have any Drytrons in my graveyard to just like do anything with them. Yeah, and then I just lose them. There's no point. His graveyard is stacked. He has like 3 extenders in his hand. I know I'm dead. Like I've lost this. Yeah, now he pops my Zeus. So like even if I had made a format Zeus, it would have like not mattered whatsoever. He would have just popped it. And yeah, this is game. I've lost. Oh, that was such a tragic loss. It was painful. But yeah, whatever. Well, now we are just continuing. We are playing against Tri-Brigade now. Next format, Tri-Brigade. A lot of people call it the best deck. I just can't laugh at that. I feel like Drytron is just so much better. He goes for Appaloosa. He's kind of forced to go into Appaloosa because Drytron just, like, it's so good against Drytron. Now this is really painful because we bait out 2 Appaloosa negates and we had Nova. We would have just run over it otherwise. With only 1 Appaloosa negate, I don't know whether there's like a real point in doing it. And maybe I should have. I don't know. No, I just get my Benton revolted and like Shurek just banishing my Benton is so painful. There's nothing I can do. Well, I have Lancia, so I can stop him. Like, I can definitely stop him. He can do nothing. Well, now we see he just drew another fractal, but like it could have been a hand trap. Like, Tri-Brigade sucks against Lancia. And no, this is correct. We draw just any engine piece, and off of a singular engine piece, we gain so much advantage. It's ludicrous. It's so stupid. Like, look at this. What the fuck's going on? I started off of 1 card. I'm at 4, 5. Like, it just keeps going. Yeah, 5 now. This is so stupid. And yeah, now I just kill him. Like, this is an easy OTK. Alright, now we're playing against Zodiac. Zodiac is probably like still one of the better decks. He has Desires, which is really cracked. I have no hand traps, I can't do anything. So I'm just watching him play. Oh, it's pretty sad that he drew like another Zodiac off of Thorblade. So he just chooses to draw another card. He could have just gone for the Hammer Kong play, I guess, but getting another Impalm off of his Thorblade was maybe better. I have no idea. So he kind of fucks up the zone, so he's in an Anima zone and I can just steal it. Like, this is something you guys definitely have to keep in mind if you're playing against Drytrons, just not play in the Anima zone. And I searched Ever off of my Benton, so he definitely knows I have Orange Light because there's no point in searching it otherwise, but I would just use him, so he's super, like, he's really forced to just do this now. Now I sent Entis. I'm kind of forced to send Entis because, like, just getting the Ritual spell, there's no point in doing that with Herald of the Arclight. And I just can't let him get Megaclops. If he gets Megaclops, I'm in a really bad spot. Just because I have already used up my Zeus. I have no XZ anymore to like get rid of Zeus. And now I just attack for game. Okay, another game against Zodiac. So he's just normal summoning red and doing Zodiac stuff. Well, we know that drill. So he summoned back Hammer Kong into the Anima zone. I just don't understand why he does that. Now he just chooses not to attach to Hammer Kong, which I also don't really get. Double Judgment, like, it's pretty good. So he Judgments Diviner, probably the correct choice. Hits my Drytron, I think it was Alpha, doesn't really matter. And now he also Judgments Nova. I'm not sure whether that's actually the correct choice. I have nothing left in my hand, so I just choose to Zeus him. No point going into Downard, just directly into Zeus. He would just pop Downard. And clear the field. I have no follow-up, pass. He top decks a Zodiac, which is pretty cracked, so he can just regain kind of his board. He can't go for Megaclops, which is really important. Goes for his Trident board, just attacks directly and makes a Zeus of his own. So now I just made a slight misplay in my opinion. I should have sent Entis instead of the Herald and popped Zeus. He would have had only 2 options, either Zeusing me or not. If he chooses to Zeus me, the board is clear, I can just combo. If he doesn't Zeus me, he only has Trident left and I just Black Roast him anyway. And if he Tridents me, like, whatever, I would have just comboed then afterwards, and that's what I'm doing currently. That's killing him, and he scoops. Alright guys, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you guys next time. Peace.